Alright. So today I'm going to talk about editors versus new authors. When you first get published, when you first are moving on to publishing, you may or you may not know all the costs that come with publishing. I would say probably one of the most expensive things, like TBH, is editing. I would put this forefront and up there. I've never paid for an editor before. I use Grammarly. I use Grammarly Premium. I invested in Grammarly Premium. I'm the type of person that I'm naturally an amazing writer. I'm a very gifted writer. I'm way better at communicating through a pen or through typing than I seem to be with words at times. So with that, I grew up always being the kid that had like a B because he never edited. Even when I first released like my books, because like if I can get a B and the only thing I didn't do was like edit a freaking story or something, then like I'll take the B. I'm not like about to spend all this extra time editing and whatnot. That's like high school, middle school type, but I always had like that gift. But I would see as I got older and older, especially once I got to college, that there's a bar of communication here of me knowing what I think and me having the ability to articulate my thoughts out loud versus me being able to take my thoughts, take my beliefs, and package it in something that another human can consume and understand and feed from. I mean, because that's the difference between ranting and raving versus salutative communication, is that you're just sitting there expressing your emotions, expressing your feelings, your dirtiest fantasies, your sexiest thoughts, your most violent urges, and the most animalistic parts of humanity. It might look one way inside your head, but it's like that thing. I just saw a crazy thing last night. It was really good to fit this on Instagram. It was like the professor writes something on the table, and it's like, without man, woman are nothing, or like without woman, men it's nothing, and whatever. And the two ways that men edit it versus the way women edit it, and it gives two completely different perspectives and meanings just by the way that you use punctuation. So I even notice that now, because now I do edit. Like I said, I use Grammarly Premium, but I edit myself because I would just say I started the Multicultural Writers Collective. No shot against any editors out there, no shot against any publishers, but there's a lot of you motherfuckers that just like take advantage of people. This shit's not going to be successful. This shit ain't good. And I get that's why like a lot of people get mad that the bar is so high, that there's so much rejection, and that sometimes getting to a publishing agency is like really difficult. That's something that we're going to cover too, like later on, but more as an experiment. Probably as this gets on a little bit more and I get out of my own ways and whatnot. Traditional publishing, but traditionally a publisher has an editor for you, like on tap, and the editor just gets paid from your royalties. What we have going on, why I make this video, editors versus new authors, is that you got a lot of like COVID entrepreneurs. Before COVID, y'all weren't in this fucking entrepreneur shit. Y'all waited until COVID, y'all waited until losing your job, y'all waited until the pandemic to start developing some sense of business or to start selling drugs or whatever the hell crazy shit y'all doing. And it shows. It shows that you don't have the experience. It shows that you don't really have like the knowledge of acquiring customers or dealing with customers that you really should have. This is something I've been doing since 2015. So when COVID hit, it was just a continuation of the same shit. I didn't get really stressed out about it. I didn't really get mad about it. But being in COVID, being a stay-at-home dad as well, spending more time like having to work on the computer to make money versus being able to just work directly like people like I'm used to. I noticed a lot more than I had ever noticed before because there were a lot more people trying to get my business, trying to get my attention. People from other countries trying to get my attention. If you use Fiverr and you like really calculate, because it's like I don't write 30,000 word pieces and shit like that. I write epics. I write 100,000 plus words, 200,000 words. That's what I write. So when I'm looking at the price of editing my book, the price for editing a book for you might be like, oh, whatever, that's just another paycheck from now, it's not a big deal, no problem. But then the editor takes months to get finished. So price isn't just the issue. It isn't just the fact that people charge you $250, which might be a little bit more reasonable, up to about thousands of fucking dollars, which is a lot more unreasonable for editing. But Grammarly Premium, I think, cost me like $139, and there's like other software that you can use. So my point is, like, why the fuck am I paying somebody to use the software for me? Basically, it definitely takes a lot more time. It definitely takes a lot more effort. But $1,000 versus 10 weeks. If they're gonna take months on end, regardless, that's my whole approach to the entire thing. When I became an independent author, I meant that shit, like, fully heartedly. It's not like I'm gonna be independent and do it myself, and can you please do this for me and do this for me? I do everything myself. I do my editing myself. I do my covers myself, and it shows. It showed in the past. It showed in the past that I did everything myself. That's why I use the word, for some people, they get offended by it. I use the word homemade, because you might be able to hear my son in the background. He's listening to Sesame Street. If I get demonetized because Sesame Street's in the background, I'll do better next video, but I'm not really about to stress myself about that right now. Basically. So my thought was, why would I pay people to use the software for me? Next thought was moving into it. I just want to stay on a fucking one topic. Put this out there so it can be helpful to people. Cursing, no cursing, that's on you, that's not on me. You gotta grow the fuck up. But basically, my perspective is that there's a lot of editors that are only doing this for the money. And I get it. You're probably American, you're probably capitalist. I'm American too, I get it. But my shit is that if you know that there's a global pandemic, if you know that people are getting their stimulus check and their tax return to take care of their family, take care of their needs, that is not an opportunity for you to jump down people's throats trying to get their fucking money, trying to take their stimulus check from them for yourself. Like, that's some evil shit. And then I'll go beyond that. It's like, you got all these fucking scammers from other countries. That's like, dealing with Americans might be a bit different than dealing with people, because Americans at least have a perspective of what life actually is like inside of America. And it's like, just because the USD translates to a different country and it's multiples and multiples and multiples and multiples in your country, a dollar is a dollar here. So $1 is $1 in USD. So 250 edited book, I would say that's pretty good. If there's a decent turnaround for it, if this person's just using the pro editing software, the Grammarly software, whatever the hell they use, I would not, unless you hack, because you can hack Microsoft Word. That was the first major step that I made in my game. I'll talk about that in a second. I want to finish this first one first. But paying $250 for someone to utilize the software for you, I would say that's pretty good, because you're feeding somebody, you're putting a little bread in their pocket, and it's like, you should be focused on volume anyway. The issue is that a lot of you motherfuckers try to get rich off of one fucking person, and that's a parasite right there. It's like, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salesperson, you have volume. You have multiple different clients. You have a pipeline. Is it hard to get to that point? Fuck yeah, it's hard to get to that point. Is it going to always be like that? It's going to be like that if you're like that. I'm building something right now that the first couple posts I made, I got like 70 fucking comments on this shit. I got too much that I could even provide for. And then you're stuck with people like, are real or not. And that's for the new authors too. For new authors, you really have to come with it with some kind of business savvy yourself. Too many authors want to be artists and don't want to be entrepreneurs. They don't want to be business people. There is no point of you creating if you're not going to make money off of it. There's not going to be any way to supply yourself. There's not going to be just do this shit long term. There's not going to be any way to do this safely or healthfully or healthfully. Healthy? Just healthy. I think it's just healthy. Healthily. To do this healthily. I don't know what the fuck. What's the word for that? Comment that below. What is the proper word for healthful? Healthful. I would say healthy. You see, there's no way to do this the right way without money, without bread. There's no way to pay for advertising, pay for marketing, pay for promotions. And once you get to the point where your graphic design skills only go but so far. You need someone that has the proper software to do, and I'm working on that now to get the proper software to do my own book covers, because right now I don't have the software to do the book cover. If I thought of that when I was processing it, I would have did it. But it's all about either having the skills, having the software, or having the support. And honestly, a lot of people in the book services industry, you should be far. The issue first and foremost that a lot of you niggas aren't authors. You're not actually making books. You're trying to sell pickaxes to coal miners. You're trying to sell pickaxes to gold miners. That's what you're doing. You're not actually out there scavenging for gold. You're not actually in the fucking coal mines bringing this shit up from the earth. You're just sitting back in your little storefront having a good old time in the AC, not doing any of the real work. It's like you're doing 5% of the work. That is like the legitimate difference that professional authors are saying that editors make. Professional independent authors are saying that it makes. Is that the book was 95% there and the editor pushed it the other 5%. So you should take a 5% equity cut and whatever the hell the royalties are on this book. If your editing only gets the book $2 extra a month, that's all you get. You get a fucking, what's that, 10 cents? You get 10 cents now. Because your editing doesn't have to just be editing. Your editing should also be helping within the promotion of the book. The editing should also be helping read the book, review the book, and then push it out there to people like that you're also working with. I think a lot of you have negative client experiences. A lot of these, and I'm talking about editors, a lot of you have very negative client experiences. A lot of you do not know how to deal with people, because this is me talking to you from my experience of having to deal with you motherfuckers and the shit that you charge, the shit that you do, the crazy shit that you say. I had this one woman, so I got the $250 figure from. I'm sitting here with For the Crown of Nadia, premier fucking book. Magnum opus, probably one of the greatest fucking books ever written in human fucking history. And I said so much fucking money. I put so much fucking money into this shit. One thing I did not do was edit it. I'm editing it right now. It came out in December. I'm editing it now. So hopefully by next December, a year fucking later, the book is going to be completely done, complete, and pushing out there. More than likely before December, because I'm a good editor. Now, I did not try editing before. I'm a good editor now, so you could build the skill yourself. But I put For the Crown of Nadia to this editor. I gave her a sample of it to this, because I had the money back. I had the money, and I was gonna fucking spend the shit regardless. So I was hiring different people in the book industry. I already had the past experience of hiring a bunch of graphic designers and illustrators to bring the characters to life, because I'm far more dialogue based, action based on my writing. I did not like Scarlet Letter. I don't like, personally. My imagery comes from the progression of the story, the action of the story, and what's going on. And you have an imagination. I'm not going to do the work for you to just imagine everything myself. You play a part with it, because everyone's going to want to see something different. Some people just put themselves inside the character's shoes. So my characters definitely have description, like different parts of the story are organized for different times. So I give her a sample for her to edit her review. She sends me back a completely different book, going like, "This is a sample of like, bitch, I don't want to fucking." I'm trying to. But I'm like, if I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to you, like directly to you, I'm trying to get something done. I'm not trying to sit here and play kumbaya. I'm not trying to sit here and be your best friend. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if I like you. Like, if you have skills and services that I need, I don't care if I like you. I don't care how friendly you are. I don't care about any of that shit. If I got a problem with you, though, then it's going to enter a whole different world of you better have some fucking customer service skills or a customer service person in place, because dealing with angry people is a skill set. Dealing with stress under pressure is a skill set. Being able to take directions under stress and pressure is a skill set. So remember that shit. I got pissed off at this person. I'm just like, you're going to send me a completely fucking different book. It's like, cause for me, a lot of y'all, it's like, y'all respond too quickly. It's like you could take an extra day to respond. you can take an extra hour or two to respond. Just because you see the shit blip up and you're not used to having people reach out to you, it doesn't mean you gotta fucking respond at that very. If you're not in the emotional mood to respond, don't respond. You know, if you need to take an extra 10 hours to respond, take 10 hours to respond. It's not a power game. It's a health game. It's a wellness game. For real, for real. Because if you're going to do it long term, you got to take care of yourself in more than one way. You could have just read the fucking book, edited what was there, and that's all that's really I need is, like, edit it, you know? Fix the punctuation. If you need to sit down and have a conversation, whatever, you got to do it. But it's like a lot of y'all want to be like Simon Cowell. A lot of y'all want to be like Dave Ramsey or Gordon Ramsay, either or, the Ramseys from UK and from USA. It's like none of y'all have the credentials to do that. It's like I don't care about taking harsh criticism from my book because that comes regardless. Before The Crown of Nadia came out, I think like within the first week, it got its first review. Its first review was a fucking 2-star review. Every other review is a 4-star, 5-star review. And it was a 2-star review because there was no ebook out. The ebook was coming out. I paid for an ebook release to come out. This person just wasn't patient. They didn't give a shit. And the fact that when they went to go get the book, there was no ebook. I had to buy a whole new. I already have IBSN in stock. Maybe we'll talk about that too. But I had to utilize an entire another IBSN. No matter how the fuck you cut it, that's $125 I could have made, even if someone else needed an IBSN, you know. And it's gone, you know, and it's just there. And then the other one came out later, and it's like it's cool. I still got the wide distribution with the book that I wanted, but the Amazon approach really dominated and took control because I had a 2-star freaking review on Amazon for not having the ebook, and editing couldn't have fixed that. Even all my books now, it's like someone might talk to me and pull me to the side and say something about the editing in the book, or why isn't the book edited or something, because it's so taboo. It's so all my books are edited now or in the process of being edited now, because it's so taboo to not have your books edited. It's so taboo to release a book out. It's like I would use like the Microsoft Word editor. Sometimes I fucking didn't. Honestly, For the Crown of Nadia, things got up to the wire, especially with like best friends. I just like released a lot of this stuff. I just released 2017 when I first got started. I didn't have time to edit. I did have time to edit. I didn't feel like it. I remember like legit first time I was publishing books. I was probably butt ass naked in my girlfriend's bedroom, laying on the floor, staring South by Southwest. I mean, not on the airport. Just like that was like I remember the gravitational direction of which I was in. Just releasing these books, just publishing stuff, and I did everything in like a week. All the books have been done years before, but it's like I had to feel like I've been sitting on these books for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. This is talking to new authors now. It's like you've been sitting on your work for however fucking long you've been sitting on. Even if it's a month might be too long. If your book's only a month old and it's 30,000 words, 20,000 words, you got avenues to release that book. Especially you got Kindle Vella now. You always have Wattpad. You have I don't use web novel, but I hear some positive things, some creepy things about web novel, whatever. I feel a lot of people are suspicious about shit they never tried before. I'm not suspicious about editors. I know that some of you are crooks. I know that some of you might be decent human beings with a great skill set. And it's not that I find your skill set unnecessary. Far be it from the truth, quite the opposite. I value your skill set so much that I learned it myself so I did not have to use you. Because giving someone else that much control and that much power over my book was exactly what I did not want to do to begin with. Now I'm a bestseller. So you could take that with a grain of salt. You could take, you're just a bestseller on Amazon. You're not a bestseller on Amazon. So I don't give a fuck about your opinion. You're not a bestseller anywhere. You know, Amazon's 80% of the market share. You know, I get that people are from other countries. They don't have the same like access to Amazon that we do in America to utilize KDP and have that shit delivered to your house in like a week or so you can flip your books yourself. You know, but I'm hustling. I was A. You know, I'm trying to make it. I'm not trying to make it in like a low level form. I could make this into my sole source of income. If you guys just open up the fucking pages and look at the books are edited now. For the Crown and Naughty is still being edited. But, you know, it's just, a lot of these niggas is crooks. That's just it. And I mean that in a very negative, very disrespectful way. But whenever I use the N word, I mean it in a very negative, very I don't find the N word as like a term of endearment or a term of brotherhood. You know, if I call you a nigga, I'm disrespecting you. If you call me a nigga, I'm taking this fucking stuff. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna take this home fucking disrespect. I lost a job because of that. If you have any other questions, any other ideas for me, again, I'm much better at communicating writtenly. So there is going to be a blog post that accompanies this that might be a little bit more coherent if you could invest that time. Probably won't be that long because I already did a 20-minute video. I might edit this video down. I do not know yet. But I just want to tell you guys, have a great time. Good luck in everything that you do, for real, for real. And I would just hope that within your writing journey, you would spend more time finding ways to understand the business side of things. And I'm going to explain the business side a lot more in the blog post now that I'm thinking about it a little more coherently. But this is just me getting I'm doing the video before I write the blog post so I can get my initial ideas out. I already know a big subject for people is going to be writer's block and how do you figure out what to write. Because sometimes if you say something verbally, you feel like there's nothing else to say. There's a lot of other things in my head that I want to say, and you see me bouncing around. I think there's a lot of shit I want to give to you, but I know that a lot of you have ADHD, a lot of you are chronic drug users, a lot of you are antisocial as fuck, and if you weren't antisocial and you could listen to someone speak for an hour, you know, I would do that. If I could talk to you for an hour and tell you everything that I felt about editing and new authors, it could really fucking change your life and change your career and put you in a whole different trajectory. Because I have a very deep experience with this, and it's very fucking personal. I'm a businessman. I'm an amazing writer. I'm an amazing creative. I'm an amazing artist. You know, don't get me wrong, but I'm a businessman. Why am I going to give you $1,000 when I can use $1,000 for my marketing and advertising that's asking to sell the book? Your editing doesn't sell the book. I've read plenty of professionally published books that had spelling mistakes and typos and errors. So long as it's legible, people can read it, and it's interesting, people are going to get through the book. If it's difficult to read, however, people are not going to finish that book, and it's really going to affect you.